the recruiting will not stop. Of course, there's a number of targets out there that can enhance the class. So, Jason, who do you have your eye on?
So I think first and foremost, Derrick LeBlanc is a kid that's actually going to make his commitment next week, next Thursday on July 28th. It's kind of a weird situation, Mark. It's between Oklahoma and Florida. He's still fonged, so to speak, to Florida, but there's a when you look at him and his dad's kind of social media presence, it is very, very, very pro Oklahoma. I mean, his picture on Twitter is him in an Oklahoma uniform. So and everything that he tweets out is Oklahoma related, and so I would be a little bit surprised at this point. And sometimes that stuff happens late, right? When people kind of change those predictions a little bit later. So still got a week, but I would say probably 90% Oklahoma right now over Florida, and with him, top 100 overall, 11th ranked defensive lineman in the country, out of Florida. And so it's like I said, I think there was one point that maybe Miami was in the loop a little bit, but it's Oklahoma and Florida. So his is one that obviously we expect a decision here with his um, 28th, the July 28th commitment date. So, and there's a couple other ones that don't have one that doesn't have a commitment date, and then a couple other flip opportunities that you could consistently start hearing more and more about. So, Makari Vickers is a kid that has just as recently a couple of weeks ago has limited his top three to Oklahoma, Alabama, and Michigan. I think Michigan's a hat on the table, so to speak, and I think this is really coming down to Oklahoma and Alabama at this point. And so, I think he's probably. I sent some feelers out a little bit earlier this morning. Haven't received anything back, but I think he is probably likely for probably a late summer, early fall projection, just in terms of when he's going to make his announcement. So I think it's between Oklahoma and Alabama. I think Oklahoma probably has a slight lead for him right now. 6'1", 180, 4-star safety out of Tallahassee, Florida. Sixth rated safety in the country. So would be certainly another great addition to the defensive staff. Or to the defensive backfield, I should say. And then a couple of the potential flips. I think we've talked about this kid a couple of times. Peyton Bowen has been committed to Notre Dame for quite some time. There's been some rumors and talk about him potentially flipping, but he's not pulled the trigger as of yet. But the noise keeps getting louder and louder and louder around his potential flip. So it's something to keep an eye on. No real pending visit right now to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's having a little, I think, a party on the palace type of thing at the towards the end of here in July when the dead period ends. So haven't heard anything specifically about him, coming to here or any kind of official visits or anything like that to Oklahoma. But like I said, have continued to hear a lot of positive things around that. He's a 4-star. At his position, he may not necessarily get to a 5-star, but he is a very high 4-star, number 51 overall, number 5th ranked safety in the country, and he's local. I mean, so to speak, from Denton, Texas. So a guy that Oklahoma feels comfortable that they'll be able to flip at the end of the day, but certainly hasn't happened yet. Ryan Yates is another kid. He's pledged to LSU. I think he is trying to get up, from what I've heard, trying to get up to Oklahoma for the kind of the party on the palace um, there here towards the end of this month here over the next week. Like I said, committed to LSU, and he's a guy that Oklahoma feels strong about from a flip perspective. So a lot of good things going on. There's a lot of good other kids that Oklahoma's in on. Obviously, just no real pending decisions that I've seen here in late July or even early August.